From Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, welcome to New York Yankee baseball. This afternoon, the New York Yankees take on the Boston Red Sox. And a good afternoon. Welcome to New York Yankee baseball. Spencer Ross along with Bill White. The finale of this three-game series, and Bill White, a lot different than the opening series here at Fenway Park way back in April thus far.
A lot different, and Spencer, the Yankees moved within 7 games of the Toronto Blue Jays, which is a lot more important from the Yankees standpoint. The Yankees, by winning 2 straight up here, the Blue Jays have lost 2 straight. If the Yankees can get within 4, getting down into the stretch, I think, since the Blue Jays haven't been there before, it could be quite interesting.
That's a very important factor, isn't it? I mean, that pressure can get to a particularly young ball club.
It can really get to any ball club, but particularly a ball club that's never had that kind of late-season pressure. If it were Baltimore, you're chasing 4 back, it would be a little bit different. And also the Tigers, if you're chasing, if you can get within 4 or 5, it would be a little bit different because they, too, have been there last year.
Well, this afternoon, Ron Guidry will pitch the finale of the series against Roger Clemens of the Red Sox. The Yankees got another good ball game out of Joe Cowley yesterday afternoon.
And Cowley, of course, they kept pushing Cowley. He kept flirting with danger, but he hung around long enough to get some relief help. And if Joe will just go out there and concentrate all the time, get a little mad, I think he'll start completing ball games. But he's 110 now, so you can't get on that.
Well, he's 10-5 this year, 9-2 last year. You total those 2 numbers up. That's 19-7 over 2 seasons. That's a pretty good mark.
Well, and here's a guy who couldn't advance to the big leagues in the Atlanta Brave chain. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of kids who are playing baseball in the minor leagues who are overlooked in that same way. And you'd like for expansion to come along, perhaps, and give them a chance.
Well, the Yankees this afternoon will be shooting for their 3rd in a row. As Bill mentioned, Yankees are now within 7 of the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto was beaten last night by Kansas City. The Blue Jays had been playing good ball up until this series, and the Yankees suddenly, that little break, the strike, seemed to have awakened them.
Well, it's been a seesaw season for the Yankees. When they went on that big winning tear and they got within a game and a half or so, and then they went out on a road trip and played badly. But now it depends. It might turn a little bit. Maybe the Yankees will run off 8 or 10 in a row here. They've already won 5 in a row. Maybe the Blue Jays, who are due to lose some ball games, will lose 4 or 5 more in a row, and then you're right back in this thing.
Well, the Yankees have had a lot of heroes in this series thus far. Don Mattingly yesterday, defensively, one of the writers in the Boston paper said a quote, and I'm not putting him down, but he said, known more for his bat than his glove. Well, I don't think he's seen Don Mattingly play too much first base if he says that.
Well, I'm sure he has. The same old thing. He's probably talking about Eddie Murray as the best defensive first baseman in the big leagues, but we've seen Mattingly. We know what he can do with the glove.
Okay, the Yankees will send Guidry to the mound. Roger Clemens will be on the mound for the Boston Red Sox. Will be back with New York Yankee baseball.
Let's keep it here for a little while, Spence. Let's keep it here for a little while because Roger Clemens is just getting out on the mound. The ball game will start in just a second.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are your Toyota dealer in the extra value package trucks that can now save you big bucks on added features. Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. Citibank, when you bank at Citibank, it's your city. Your Tri-State Dodge dealers will invite you to test drive Poetry in Motion, the 1985 Dodge Lancer, and by the New York Yankees. Final game of this series, let's check the Yankee batting order. Ricky Henderson leading off, playing center field. Don Mattingly in the 2nd slot. Dave Winfield bats 3rd. Ken Griffey in left field bats 4th. The designated hitter Don Baylor, number 5. Willie Randolph in the 6th slot. Butch Weiniger behind the plate. Mike Pagliarulo bats 8th, and Bobby Meacham will bat 9th. Ron Guidry will be on the mound. For the home team, the Boston Red Sox, Dwight Evans leads off, plays right field. Wade Boggs bats 2nd. Bill Buckner 3rd. Jim Rice in the cleanup spot. Tony Armas back in center field. He started yesterday's ball game. Mike Eastwood, the DH. Marty Barrett at second base. Jackie Gutierrez at shortstop, and Mark Sullivan behind the plate. Defensively for Boston, Bill Buckner at first. Marty Barrett at second. Gutierrez at short. Wade Boggs at third. Jim Rice, Tony Armas, and Dwight Evans, the outfield from left to right. Mark Sullivan behind the plate. And on the mound, the right-hander, Roger Clemens, who has come back from a sore shoulder. Hasn't seen much activity, really, since the month of May. He has a record of 7-4, and Ricky Henderson steps in. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Henderson batting at .348, 17 home runs, 50 runs batted in, and the ball game is underway. It'll be Henderson, Mattingly, and Winfield against the young right-hander from the University of Texas, Roger Clemens. He's won 7 and lost 4 so far this year. So far in the series, Henderson 3 for 9. Gutierrez at short. And there's one away. Henderson bouncing out 6-3 for the first out.
Henderson came into this ball game with that .348 batting average. In that race, it's George Brett at .355, Wade Boggs .353, Henderson .348, and Mattingly, who steps in now, has moved into the 4th spot at .326.
And Mattingly has yet to drive in a run in this series, and the Yankees have won 2 straight. So they've done that without at least the RBI productivity of Don Mattingly. But as Spencer mentioned earlier, he saved a ball game yesterday for them with his glove. So Mattingly at .326 with 18 home runs and 90 runs batted in. He's 4 for 8 in the series, and he's been slapping the ball off the wall. At least he did that in the last game. There's a strike. Clemens with a good arm. He's got a good fastball. Working on a better breaking ball. He's only 23. He's 23 years old. 23 on August 4th.
That's worth an only.
It's 2 strikes on Mattingly. You can see he's got a little heat.
I mentioned that sore shoulder. He pitched on May 27th. Didn't come back till June 11th. Pitched only 3 times from June 11th through July 2nd. And then they had him pitch in that Hall of Fame game up at Cooperstown, and he came back last week against Kansas City and went 6 innings.
Well, he was 9-4 last year in his rookie season, but did not pitch after August 31st. He injured his right arm and was sidelined the rest of the season. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes on Don Mattingly. Understand that the severe heat here in Boston is causing technical problems with our video, and I hope you'll just bear with us until we get those problems corrected. It is warm here in Boston. 1-2 on Mattingly.
Of course, on Friday, Bill, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they had no power here. And there was a bit of a chance that Friday night's ball game might have been called off.
Out of play down the left side. So far, Clemens has shown nothing but heat. Hard slider, good hard fastball. And it's 1-2 on Mattingly. Look at another big crowd here. In game 1, they had 33,767. Yesterday, 33,009. And this crowd will be 33,000 plus. A lot of people opted to go to the shore, though, but not the baseball fans.
No, they're here.
1-2 on Mattingly. That'll be foul off first base. Buckner will play it. Yankees winning yesterday. It's their 5th straight win. And they're now 3-5 against Boston overall after losing the first 3 games of the season here. They won the opener 10-6. Rich Bordy in relief over Bruce Hurst. Then the Yankees yesterday won 7-3. Joe Cowley won his 10th over Oil Can Boyd. Cowley now 10-5. There's a curveball. Maybe you better not throw that. He's going to break it way up there, but you can break it way up there when you're way ahead in the count. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Mattingly. Clemens 6-4 goes 205. And now Mark Sullivan, the catcher, wants to talk to the right-hander. Sullivan's 26 and actually 27 now, and the son of one of the Red Sox owners and former big league catcher Haywood Sullivan. 2-2 on Mattingly. Lifted to left. It's a fair ball. Rice is there. 2 outs. Thought that ball might slice into the seats foul or go a bit farther than that, but Rice made the play easily.
It's tough to tell which way the wind is blowing. It's blowing out, it looks a little bit, Bill, toward left field, where you really don't need too much help in the first place.
Here's Big Dave Winfield. He's hitting .287 with 18 home runs, 76 runs batted in. Yankees have a shot at having 3 people drive in at least 100 runs this year. Mattingly, of course, has 90. He has the best chance. Winfield with 76. And Don Baylor with 74. Ball 1. Winfield 3 for 9 in the first 2 games with 3 runs batted in the series. Right back to Clemens as Winfield falls down and did not leave home plate. The side is retired. 3 up and 3 down. At the end of 1/2 inning of play, the Yankees nothing, and the Red Sox are coming up.
Defensively for the New York Yankees, Don Mattingly at first base, Willie Randolph at second, Bobby Meacham the shortstop, Mike Pagliarulo at third base. The outfield, Ken Griffey, Ricky Henderson, and Dave Winfield. Butch Weiniger behind the plate, and Ron Guidry coming off a 7-3 victory over the Chicago White Sox, in which he lost a shutout in the 9th inning. Takes the mound, looking for his 15th victory of the year. Guidry, 14-4. And after he had won those 12 straight, he had a little bit of a rough time. In 3 starts, Guidry in 25 innings gave up 16 runs. And then he turned it around with that nice victory against the White Sox. So Guidry, who was beaten by the Red Sox at the stadium back on April 24th, 7-6, will pitch to Dwight Evans, Wade Boggs, and Bill Buckner. A warm, muggy afternoon here in Boston for the season finale. The Yankees have taken the first 2. They're now within 7 games of first place Toronto. And here is Evans to step in, and here's Bill.
All right, Spencer and Toronto playing this afternoon in Kansas City again. In the second inning, it's Detroit and Cleveland tied 1-1. And right here, we have Dwight Evans against Ron Guidry, and Evans went too far on a breaking ball. Evans hitting .241, 12 home runs, 39 runs batted in, 2 for 9 against the Yankees in these 2 games. Both his base hits doubles. 2 runs batted in for Dwight Evans. That's low, 1-1.
People wonder why the Red Sox aren't up there. Well, you just check their outfield. Rice has been off. Armas has been injured. And Dwight Evans is hitting .241.
Well, he's been struggling. Pagliarulo off his glove, and that'll be a base hit for Evans. Baggs diving to his left. Ball popped out of his glove. Past Meacham. Evans with his 3rd hit of the series as we watch it again.
This ball hit hard. Pagliarulo made the move to his left. And just it seemed like the momentum, the force of the ball. Because Pax had that ball in the glove.
Uses a big glove. There's a lot of webbing out there that's hard to control. Wade Boggs, 353. Second to George Brett's 355. He's 3 for 8 against the Yankees in this series.
Also leads the American League in hits. Mattingly second in that category. Mattingly is number 1 in the American League in 4 different departments.
Does that include fielding at first base?
No, not that's 5.
Probably 5. I can't.
RBIs, doubles, extra base hits, and total bases, and second in hits.
That could be 2. Randolph. Now they'll have Evans hung up, and 1 throw, and they tag Evans, and it's a double play. Evans did the right thing. He stopped, made Randolph go to first base, and he got up and tried to go on to second, and they got him.
Well, Willie did the right thing, too, as we watch it again. First, he's going to run Evans back to first base. Then the throw to Mattingly to retire the batter Boggs, and then Mattingly chases Evans down, and Meacham makes the tag. 4-3-6 if you're scoring on that double play, and there are 2 men away.
Here's Bill Buckner, the first baseman, hitting .289, 12 home runs, 68 runs batted in. Well, these fans buzzing here because they know the Red Sox do somehow hit into a lot of double plays. That's the 144th. The Yankees have hit into 120 and turned 110.
Jim Rice has hit into more than 20% of those double plays.
Well, he's closing in on a new record. That's why they try normally to split Rice and Armas. Buckner pulls a Winfield.
There it is, out past the pitcher's mound, closer to second base. Buckner will go out to get it with some help from the bat boy. Watch it again. Slips.
Gidry tried to field it, huh?
He's one heck of a fielder, but don't try and pick up bats.
No. You'll break a finger. 2 strikes on Bill Buckner with 2 outs, nobody on base. We're playing the bottom of the first, no score in the game. Final game between the Yankees and the Red Sox here at Fenway Park this year. The Yankees' first trip here was not a very good one. They lost all 3 to the Bo Sox as they opened the season here. That's out of play.
I was going to try and make a play on that one.
Needed long arms. Now remains no balls and 2 strikes on Buckner. Wasted pitch outside. One and 2. Low, 2 and 2. Louisiana Lightning looking for his 15th win this year. He's 14 and 4. Ron Romanek of California is 113. Brett Saberhagen of Kansas City is 113. Meacham, glasses down. Shallow left side is retired. No runs, a base hit, nobody left. We played one. Yankees nothing, Boston nothing.
Well, these same Boston Red Sox will be back at Yankee Stadium next weekend, and it'll feature Italian-American Day on Saturday afternoon, August 17th. Fans on hand will be treated to pregame entertainment by Vic Damone and John Amarante, and Italian-American Yankees Dave Righetti, Mike Poundurul, and Dale Barrow will take part in the festivities. Good seats still available. Make plans to enjoy the Red Sox series next Friday through Monday, the 16th through the 19th. And remember, Italian-American Day, Saturday the 17th, when the Yankees meet the Red Sox. That'll be at 2 p.m. the Saturday game. Originally, that game was scheduled for 8 o'clock at night. They have moved it to an afternoon start. Bill?
All right, Spencer, leading off of the Yankees, Ken Griffey batting cleanup today. And he takes a strike from Clemens. Griffey at .262. 6 home runs, 45 runs batted in as Martin uses him to split up Winfield and Baylor, who's on deck. Then we'll get Willie Randolph. One and 1. Clemens was the winning pitcher in the College World Series for Texas back in 1983. Texas beat Alabama for the NCAA title out in Omaha. 1 and 2 on Griffey.
They put together some good baseball teams down in Boston. Arizona State, Miami. Miami won it again this year. They beat Texas. Came back to win 2.
Well, professional. This is only his 35th start or 35th game professionally. He's made 1 relief appearance. So far, Clemens has not been able to get his breaking ball over. He was high with that one, and it's 2-2 on Griffey. Out of play, Griffey hanging in.
Toronto this afternoon, Danny Jackson will be pitching for the Kansas City Royals. For the Toronto Blue Jays, Bill Musselman with a record of 3-0. And with Blue Jays losing last night, the Yankees now 7 behind the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, I see Quisenberry beat Cottle, a battle of a couple of top relief pitchers in that game last night. Kansas City won it 4-3.
Jim Sundberg had the home run to win it.
9th inning. Brett went 2 for 3. That's why he's leading the American League in hitting. 3-2 on Griffey. And that's out of play as Griffey makes Clemens work.
They haven't really gotten from Caudill what they had hoped to get, the big stopper. They've gotten some good pitching from Jim Acker. Lavell's pitched pretty well, but this new kid, who they call the Terminator, Tom Henke, hasn't given up a hit in 8 innings yet. Couple of wins, couple of saves.
Sounded down low.
Sounded down low?
Yeah. I thought that's ball 4, and it is. Griffey's still there. I think it had to sound low. Griffey stayed there. And now he goes on the first base, and that's ball 4. That sounded like a strike to Griffey, and it sounded low to home plate umpire Ken Kaiser. Have we given the umpires?
I'll give him. Ken Kaiser's behind the plate. Perhaps a little ticked off at Ken Griffey. That can embarrass an umpire. I gave you the base. Don't stand here. Tim Tashita is at first base, Rocky Rowe at second, and Larry Barnett is at third base. That's the Yankees' first base runner.
And here's Don Baylor, who's hitting .244, 19 home runs, 74 runs batted in for Baylor. We're in the second inning, no score in the game. Clemens almost throws the ball over Buckner's head.
Baylor was commenting after yesterday's game about Oil Can Boyd, who went through all his gyrations when he beat the Yankees here earlier. And the Yankees were a little upset about it. Oof, almost threw it away again.
What'd Baylor say?
Baylor said it's a long season. Shouldn't do that in April.
I believe the kid ought to go on and pitch that way if it makes him pitch better, though.
Yeah.
Remember when Mark Fidrich was doing all that, he became a character. And I think, well, Oil Can do the same thing. They call Fidrich a character. They call Boyd a hot dog.
I like individuals like that.
Yeah, if you've got good stuff, you can get away with it. If you don't have good stuff, you better not say or show up anybody.
Well, Boyd not only does it in the man, he talks it also. And he has some great lines. He had one Satchel Paige told him, he said, throw peas at their knees and high riders under their chins.
Down the right field, a little slice. Will it stay fair? Foul ball. 2 strikes on Don Baylor. He sliced that right down the right field line, which can tell you just a little bit about how hard Clemens is throwing normally. Baylor hits the ball from left center over, well, actually way foul down the left side. He just pulls everything. Two strikes on Baylor. And that one is slapped foul into the seats.
Baylor's telling me a story about when he played for the Orioles. One game here, he had 3 off the wall for singles. The next day, Earl Weaver called him in and said, "You're not playing tonight." Didn't hit any out. And he put him in as a pinch hitter late in the ball game. He hit a home run to win it, came back into the dugout, and just walked by Earl like he wasn't even there. Earl wanted to shake his hand.
Still 0-2 on Baylor. Weaver probably went to his cards and saw where Baylor Probably didn't hit well against whatever pitcher the Sox were using then. Must have lost those cards this year.
Yeah.
Earl Weaver.
Doesn't have the pitching staff he'd like to have, as Sparky Anderson said. Earl's going to get a little dumb this year.
Well, let's face it, this is not his team. They're playing a game over 500. The Orioles are 154 and lost 53, and as of now, they're 13.5 back.
And they really don't have anybody who can stop bad streaks. Bodeker's been in a tailspin. Flanagan really isn't ready yet. He's pitching, though. Storm Davis has been in and out.
Now, Ken Kaiser just called a balk. I'll bet you that's Kaiser's 100th balk call. If you keep throwing the first base long enough, Kaiser will call a balk on you. And Clemens wants to know, what did I do? Kaiser said didn't do anything. I just decided I'd call a balk.
Stop throwing over there. Let's play the game.
It's too hot out here. Now John McNamara is coming up.
And he'll ask the same question. Why did you call the balk on my pitcher? And Ken Kaiser will go over and explain. We're in the top of the second. We're scoreless. The Red Sox have the only base hit in the ball game. This is more discussion time than argument time.
Well, Clemens wants to know what he did because he doesn't want to do it again. Let's see what he's doing here. Oh, see that left knee break a little bit? He's got that dodger move. Somebody's taught him the dodger move, where you break that left knee and spin off the mound. And that's deceiving the base runner in the eyes of Ken Kaiser. Let's watch that front knee. We'll watch that. Watch your front knee. See the left knee move there? See it move? In fact, he bent both knees, and he turned and went to first base. That's a good move if you can get away with it. But don't try it with Kaiser.
Yes.
Don't try anything with Kaiser. Still 0-2 on Baylor. And that's out of play. I think Kaiser calls balks in his sleep. Have to get on him tomorrow. Big fella from Rochester, New York, Ken Kaiser.
And you've been talking. He's taking off a little weight.
Yeah. Bounced up, hit Baylor. That'll be dead ball out of play. The bat bounced down, backed up, and hit the bat again. Count remains 0-2 on Baylor. We're in the top of the second inning. No score in the game. No outs with Griffey down at second base for the Yankees. And again out of play. That was a breaking ball. Baylor just got a piece of it.
For an 0-2 count, Don Baylor's been up there a long time. Keeps banging him away foul.
Well, you mentioned Kansas City beat Toronto yesterday, and the Royals now just 2.5 behind California in the West. Oakland just 3 back. Baylor down on strikes, a high Hardman. Clemens' first strikeout, and that's the first out in the second.
Came in high, and he jams Baylor right here. That ball tailed back in, it looked like a bit, and it's strike 3.
Well, they're going to put a K up for Clemens, right?
Let's put up a C. No, for Clemens, but a K for the strikeout. Speaking of the K, Dr. K. He won his 12th in a row yesterday for the Mets. 18 for the season. He hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in any game that he's pitched this year.
That's pretty good pitching. Mets now tied with the Cardinals for first place in the National League East. Montreal 5 back. Dodgers lead the West by 6 over Cincinnati and San Diego. Randolph takes the ball high. Willie batting .294. 3 home runs. 36 runs batted in. 1 out. Cleveland's taken a 2-1 lead over the Tigers in the 3rd inning. Again, 2 balls, no strikes on Randolph.
Trying to figure out what's wrong with the Tigers. And this little note I picked up, one of the things, last year, 22 times, they scored 5 or more runs in an inning. This year, they've only done it 5. It's a little bit of an indication that the offense just hasn't been as good, and the opposition is getting more big innings against them.
That's a strike, 2-1. Of course, they had some injuries early. Chet Lemon. But Whitaker started off well. Parrish was driving in runs. Gibson was driving in runs and still is. Evans threw a fastball by him. It's 2-2 on Randolph.
And on the pitching side, you really, while Hernandez is having a good year, you couldn't expect him to have the kind of year he had last year. It was near perfect. Watch this one. Good fastball. And Randolph way behind on it. And Aurelio Lopez is having a disastrous year for them.
And Clemens with good heat here in the 2nd inning. 2-2 on Randolph. That's fouled back and out of play. Griffey wants to steal 3rd base. He's looking over at Gene Michael. Clemens takes a lot of time lifting the left leg up and swaying it back and forth, and Griffey would like to get the green light to steal 3rd.
Clemens has been throwing basically nothing but fastballs. He doesn't have the confidence, at least not now at this stage of the game, in that curveball.
On the ground to Barrett. He'll throw out Randolph from 2nd base, and Griffey goes to 3rd. 2 outs.
If he can get that curveball down today, he could be devastating, Bill.
Yes, because he's getting it in there in the 90s. Here's Butch Weiniger, the Yankee catcher. 3 for 7 in the first 2 games. 234 overall, 4 home runs, 27 runs batted in for Weiniger. First game, he got a run batted in with a squeeze in the 9th inning. Yankees won the opener 10-6, won yesterday 7-3. And a strike to Weiniger.
Still throwing that fastball and still getting it by the Yankee hitters. It's 3 straight fastballs to Weiniger. It's 1-2. Let's see if he comes with a curveball here. A 1-2.
Nope. It's going to be another number 1. And right down the middle. Weiniger's caught looking, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits. A walk and a man left on. After 1.5 innings of play, the Yankees nothing, Boston nothing. Let's pause for station identification.
Sellout crowd on hand this afternoon at beautiful Fenway Park. The Yankees and the Red Sox scoreless as we move to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Red Sox had a base hit in the first, but Wade Boggs bounced into a double play. So Jim Rice, the cleanup hitter, will lead it off. Rice had a good ball game yesterday. He had been slumping. 0 for 14, and then came back yesterday. Had a home run late in the ball game against Joe Cowley, and he will lead it off against Ron Guidry. The people here in Boston have been telling me, Bill, he has become an even less patient hitter this year. He's swinging at a lot of first pitches, just about every ball game.
Well, he's at 265, and he's first pitch swinging here with 19 home runs and 71 runs batted in. Hit his 19th home run in yesterday's ball game as he got all 3 of his base hits, breaking that 0 for 14 slump. Still a quality hitter. Jim Rice, lifetime, he's over 300 at 303. And he averages 100 runs batted in a game. Not a game, he'd be a heck of a player. A year for Jim Rice. 1-1.
Amazing with the superstars. You expect so much. And numbers that Rice has this year, 71 RBIs.
Popped up right side. Randolph got a late start. Now he's calling. 1 away. Willie Randolph, the Yankees second baseman, picked that ball up just a little late.
Watch Rice here. He's going to reach out for this pitch, get it just off the end of the bat. Randolph started coming in and then had to retreat quickly. So there's 1 man away.
And the Bo Sox batter is Tony Armas, who started in center field yesterday for the first time since back in June, went 0 for 4. Overall, Armas batting .240 with 16 home runs and 34 runs batted in. He's been bothered by a sore leg. Strike 1.
RBI and home run champ last year.
Two strikes on Armas.
An incredible disparity in his numbers between walks and strikeouts. You expect a home run hitter to strike out quite a bit, but Armas has walked 5 times this year and he's struck out 50.
Well, I think everybody thinks they can strike out Armas, and they'd rather make him swing the bat and then walk him, and he's not selected. He'll go up the ladder on the ball.
Yep.
You could just now start up around the chin and keep throwing him up there with Armas. But Guidry decides to waste one outside with a 1-2 count. Got him with the slider, and Armas down on strikes. Guidry's first strikeout, 2 outs.
Here we watch it again, the 1-2 pitch to Tony Armas. And there's the slider, and Armas is down, and there are 2 men away for the Red Sox.
And here's Mike Easler. They call him the hitman here in Boston. He's hitting 266. 3 for 8 in the series. A dozen home runs for Easler and 49 runs batted in. Fouls the slider back for a strike.
They had a great year from him last year. Over 300, 313.
Got off to a slow start, but he's got his batting average up now into the 260s. Oh, 1-1. John Tudor went to Pittsburgh for Easler in 1983. He also has a 300 lifetime batting average.
Cardinals are happy they have Tudor. What a year he is having after a slow start.
2 balls and a strike on Easler. Last year batted .313 for the Red Sox and drove in 91 runs. His most productive year in the big leagues. Lifted to the left, but Griffey is there. And that'll do it for the Red Sox in the second inning. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 2. The Yankees nothing, Boston nothing.
This has shown a real good fastball. And the Yankees still looking for their first base hit of the ball game. Clemens is a strikeout hitter. He struck out 10 on one occasion this year, 9 another time, and 8 on 2 other occasions. But since coming back after that sore shoulder, he has not really been the big strikeout pitcher. A record of 7-4. And he did beat the Yankees back here on April 11th by a score of 6-4. In that game, he went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. He walked 3, struck out 5. Dave Winfield had a home run against him in that one. Mike Pagliarulo will lead it off for the Yankees, to be followed by Bobby Meacham, then back to the top of the order, and Ricky Henderson. Clemens is just about ready. So is Bill White.
All right, Spencer Ross, Pagliarulo batting .230 for the Yankees. 10 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Youngster from Medford, Massachusetts, about 6 miles from here in Boston, and a Celtic fan. Strike one on Pags. A lot of theories on bat weight against a fellow who throws hard. A lot of players use a heavy bat. A lot of them like to speed the bat up by using a lighter bat. That's out of play.
Seems to be becoming a vogue. The lighter bat seems to be very much the fad these days. Even big guys like Ron Hassel use a 31-ounce bat.
Bat companies like that.
They save on wood, huh?
No. They break a lot of them.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. A little bit high. 1-2 on Pagliarulo.
Got some family and friends here. We love the Pag. Medford's the Pag.
And he takes another one high. 2-2. Mr. Clemens, so far he's had an excellent fastball. And he just strikes out Pagliarulo. Strikeout number 3 for Roger Clemens.
And that's all we're seeing now are fastballs. He threw the curveball a couple of times in the first inning. He has abandoned it now, and he jams Pagliarulo. Strike 3. That is 3, as Bill said. 3 of the last 4. So he is really humming him in.
Here's Meacham. Meacham at .235 with 34 runs batted in. Hit a home run this year, but it was disallowed when he passed Willie Randolph at first base in Texas. And that's a ball.
Bases loaded now.
That's low. 2 balls, no strikes on Meacham. Bobby will be followed by Ricky Henderson, the Yankee leadoff man. We're in the 3rd, no score. Yankees, no runs, no hits. The Red Sox, no runs, 1 base hit. And that was nullified when Boggs bounced into a double play. 3-0 on Meacham. Check that. Did he call out a strike? Late strike call? Okay,
that's the Kent Kaiser quickie. Just zips the hand up real quick. Tough to see.
Oh, it's 2-1. Now it's 2-2. He is quick, isn't he?
Yeah. I love his out calls. A little Kaiser kick.
Let's call it a Kaiser kick.
Kaiser kick.
Ken's mother watching the ball game up in Rochester. Over in Rochester. Now it's 3-2 on Meach. Just thinking one of these days Kaiser's going to wake up from a nightmare and yell balk. You balk. Barrett throws out Meacham from second base for out number 2.
You know, Bill, you were talking about Meacham's home run where he passed a runner. This Thursday night, weird play. Your former team, the Cardinals, they had runners at first and second. And we watched Barrett here make the easy play at first base. It wound up as a triple play. Terry Pendleton, a line drive to Leon Durham, who threw to Chris Spire at second base. The throw was wide. Spire was pulled off. Van Slyke was off the bag at first. Spire threw to first. He threw wildly. Van Slyke got up, ran for second. But Clark didn't know he was called safe. He went back to the dugout. Van Slyke passed him. Clark got back into action. The throw got away. Van Slyke got caught in another rundown. It turned out to be a triple play.
Oh, this will be off the wall at least. High off the wall. It'll be a double for Henderson, but he'd better hurry. They're going to have him. No, he's not. Oh, he's called out. by second base umpire Rocky Rowe. Excellent play by Jim Rice. Looked like Henderson had snuck in on the backside, but Rice made a perfect throw to Marty Barrett. No runs, a base hit, nobody left. We're going to the bottom of the third. That fine play by Jim Rice. No score in the ball game.
You learn how to play the wall as it bounced off. And Jim Rice knows how to play this wall. This is his schoolyard. And here's Henderson trying to get it on the backside, but Barrett was there with the tag. Rice with a good throw from the outfield. Other guys came into your neighborhood. They didn't have a chance playing those walls in the schoolyard. Here's Jim Rice showing just how good you can become when you do it every day, and he does it very well.
And here's Marty Barrett, who made the tag on Henderson at second base. We're in the bottom of the third, no score. Barrett hitting .287, 5 home runs, 44 runs batted in, and a Guidry strike. California leading Minnesota 1-0 in the first inning. They're in the fourth in Cleveland, and the Tigers are down a run. It's Cleveland 2, Detroit 1. Indians will play the spoiler the rest of this year.
You know, they had 72,000 at Cleveland Stadium a couple of nights ago.
Probably had one of those, what do they call them, grocery days or something.
I'm tricking you.
Was that a football game?
That was Bruce Springsteen.
Oh. Thought the Browns might have been playing somebody. Henderson just caught the ball in right center off Barrett for the first out. They fill that place up. They have a supermarket day normally once a year. And I don't know if the tickets are given away when you buy groceries or if the grocery store buys out all the tickets, but that'll normally be around 74,000 people for the Indians.
And opening day, they'll get their 60 to 70. A big parade in downtown, and that's about 10% of their season attendance.
Here's Jackie Gutierrez, the shortstop, and he takes a strike. Gutierrez is batting at .341. Check that, .241. With the home run, 15 runs batted in. And there are 2 strikes on Gutierrez.
Took the job away from Glenn Hoffman last year when Hoffman got hurt. Hoffman took it away from him this year when Gutierrez got hurt. Hoffman's hurt again.
This kid's bid at batting over .300 against the Yankees lifetime. Doesn't hit too many other people. Palirulo off third base for out number 2. For guys like Gutierrez, Wayne Tollison, Buck Martinez, who's on the disabled list now with Toronto, Rick Dempsey, guys who don't normally hit other teams seem to do well against the Yankees.
There's always been a lot of great pitchers have always had trouble with certain people who don't bother too many mediocre pitchers.
Well, Guidry hasn't been bothered so far. He gave up a leadoff hit to Evans off Palirulo's glove, and that's all he's given up. And this is Evans swinging through a slider. Check that, Mark Sullivan, the catcher, swinging through a slider, hitting at .171 with a home run, 1 run batted in. Son of Haywood Sullivan. And it's 1-1. Weiniger wanted that one.
He's had physical problems this year. Just came back from a fractured left wrist and reactivated at the beginning of this month.
He's only been up 41 times, has 7 base hits for the 27-year-old Red Sox catcher, Mark Sullivan. I don't think he's seen a slider like Guidry's. He's hitting with the Charlie Lau method, taking that top hand off the bat. Chicago leading Milwaukee 2-0 in the first. Yankees will be in Comiskey Park tomorrow night for 3 straight games against the White Sox. We'll have all those games for you starting at 8:30 in New York time on our Yankee television network. 1-2 on Sullivan. Low. Well, Toronto didn't score in the top of the first. Kansas City now batting. Yankees 7 back. Oh, Kansas City just picked up a run. It's 1-0 Kansas City after 1. Sullivan down on strikes. Guidry's second strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. On the Citibank scoreboard, the score at the end of 3. Yankees nothing. Red Sox nothing. It's a school giveaway, so make plans to be on hand. Once again, Dellwood Yankee Thermos Day, originally scheduled for Wednesday, August 7th, has been rescheduled for Sunday afternoon, September 8th. No score after 3. Yankees no runs, a base hit. Both Sox no runs, a base hit. Neither team has made an error. And here to carry along, Spencer Ross.
Okay, Bill. Don Mattingly, who flied to left in his first at bat, will step in against Roger Clemens. Clemens has faced one batter over the minimum. He's given up a walk and a hit. But on the base hit, Ricky Henderson was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double by Jim Rice. So Mattingly hitting now at .325. 4 for 9 in this series. Ball 1. Clemens has warm-ups for this inning. He was just watching him, Bill, and he was just about all of them, 5 or 6. He was working on the curveball, and he started Mattingly off with a curve there. Up high, 1-1 right here. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Yankee Television Network. One ball and 2 strikes to Don Mattingly. Ken Kaiser took that pitch off of his face mask. Good sense of humor.
Didn't budge him.
No, he's tough.
This is a high heart when Mattingly gets under it right there, right on the face mask. It didn't budge him. Didn't move him.
No.
Somebody on the Yankee bench, Billy Martin, yelling at Kaiser from the edge of the Yankee bench, and Kaiser yelling back.
So it's 1-2 to Mattingly. No score here in the top of the 4th. And Don Mattingly has a clean single to center field to start the 4th inning off for the Yankees.
We really can't tell from up here because only the batters can tell, but it looks like Clemens might not have that hard stuff that he had through the first 3 innings. Pitchers, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But young pitchers have got to learn to pace themselves because this game is played in 9, and you don't give it all through the first 2 or 3. You give just as much as you need to get by. And I'm not sure if Clemens has lost a little bit off that fastball.
He couldn't get that curveball over. As you say, that's all he was doing. Everything was hard through those first 3 innings. Here's Winfield, who bounced to Clemens in his first at bat, strike 1. He checked the swing and fell down. The ball came to Clemens, and Winfield never got out of the batter's box. Mattingly leading away from first.
See the first baseman, Buckner, playing it legally but when he plays there, you see how far he has to do to carry that glove around to tag Mattingly. He's got to carry the glove all the way around his body. If he moved over a little bit and put that left foot in foul territory, all he'd have to do would be to drop the glove.
Just about everybody does it. They're making a stink about it over in the National League, though, particularly with Keith Hernandez. Inside. You did it, didn't you, Bill?
I think everybody does. Nobody called it. And I don't think they'll call it over there either.
Count is 1-1 to Winfield. There's the breaking ball. Clemens will have one play to first base in time. I'll tell you, just about every time he throws to first base, it's an adventure. 3-4 times he's almost thrown the ball away on pickoff attempts, and right here wasn't exactly a picture-perfect throw.
Well, he's got plenty of time, and here again, he's only 23. He'll learn that first of all, he'll get the ball with the glove instead of the bare hand, and then he'll turn and take his time and throw out Winfield in another couple of years, rather than get it barehanded and throw it high. I think that's the one thing you learn as you play the game longer and longer, that you've got a lot of time to make routine plays.
Patience. Learn from experience. Ken Griffey walked and moved to second when Clemens balked him over. Ball one, so Mattingly, the second Yankee runner, to get into scoring position. There's one out here in the top of the fourth. We're scoreless. That'll be foul. 1-1 now to Ken Griffey. It's a warm day in Boston.
The Red Sox used to have a right-hander by the name of Ray Culp. I think they got him from the Cubs. Culp started with the Phillies in their organization. I think went to the Cubs and came here. And Clemens reminds me just a little bit of Ray Culp.
His motion or his stuff?
Motion and his stuff. Oh, he's a bit taller than Culp.
Outside. The heat is not quite there, as you said, Bill, in this particular inning.
Well, that was a changeup. He tried to take a little bit off to Griffey, which might be a mistake for him as we look at McNamara, the manager of the Red Sox, because he didn't have good motion on that change.
Count is 2-1 to Griffey. This is through into right field. Dwight Evans will not make a play, and Mattingly will cross, and the Yankees lead it 1-0.
The problem when you have only one pitch, and Clemens, we mentioned, has that good number one, the good fastball, is when you lose a couple miles off that pitch, and the second or third time around, the hitters are on you, and you're in trouble. Now, here's a fastball that's down low that Griffey turns over and hits it past the second baseman, Barrett. Mattingly scores easily, and the right fielder, Evans, decides to hold on to the baseball to keep Griffey at first base.
So the Yankees have scored first, 1-0, as we play the top of the fourth. Still one man out, and Don Baylor, who struck out swinging on a good Clemens fastball in the second inning, steps in.
And we'll see here just how much might be off Clemens' fastball. Baylor kept fouling the balls off to the right side, way down the right side, and normally he pulls everything.
That's fouled away. Roger Clemens has struck out 3. And he did it with that fastball over the first 3 innings, in which the Yankees were able to get but 1 base hit. That came with 2 outs in the third. Griffey away from first. And this one fouled off a bit to the right again. And the count is now 0-2 on Baylor. Single by Mattingly. He went to second on Winfield's little ground ball to pitcher Clemens. And Mattingly scoring on Ken Griffey's single. Griffey's 46th RBI of the year for a 1-0 New York lead. Keeping Griffey close. Griffey's stolen 6 bases. He's also been thrown out 6 times. Goes Griffey, and Baylor fouls it straight back. So on the 0-2, Griffey goes, and he'll have to walk back. right corner, strike 3. Baylor doesn't think so and has some words with Ken Kaiser.
Kaiser saying, now look here, Don, you and I both know we didn't see it, we heard it. And I heard it for a strike. Now let's watch it again from out here. Yeah, that's a good pitch on the inside part of the plate. Baylor turned and they really didn't see the ball past it.
Ball tailed back in a bit, but over the plate. So there are 2 men out, and Willie Randolph, who bounced to second in his first at bat. There goes Griffey. And he'll be in with a stolen base. Picked a good pitch to steal on.
Once again, Clemens kicks that left leg up a long time, and Griffey got a good head start towards second base. Griffey's running all this time. The throw was high, too. That didn't hurt him. Here he is again, sliding. Throw high. Gutierrez got the ball down a little late.
So Griffey in scoring position, and the count is 0-1 on Willie Randolph. Outside, 1-1. Willie's gotten the batting average up to 292, and he has done it by hitting at a .333 pace over his last 23 games. Outside, 2-1. Seeing more of the curve and the slider from Roger Clemens here in the 4th inning. And the Yankees taking advantage to score the game's first run. Griffey leading away from second with 2 men out. Gutierrez at short. Side retired. Yankees come up with a run. Griffey's RBI single on 2 base hits. They leave 1. And through 3.5 innings at Fenway, it's the Yankees 1, the Red Sox 0. The 4th inning, back to the top of the Red Sox order, and Dwight Evans. Dwight Evans, who has the only base hit of the ball game for the Red Sox, an infield single that Pagliarulo knocked down and could not control. And there's a strike. The Red Sox have sent the minimum amount of men to the plate against Ron Guidry, 9, because following the single, Wade Boggs bounced into a double play. Kansas City still leading Toronto 1-0.
Well, I'm sorry, Spence. While Evans goes back and gets another bat, evidently he took a broken bat up there. We'd like to remind all fans planning on attending the Yankee-Red Sox game on Saturday, August 17th, that the start time has been changed from 8 p.m. to a 2 o'clock day game. That's the Yankees and the Red Sox, Saturday afternoon, August 17th at 2 o'clock, not at 8 p.m. as originally scheduled.
Think that kid's happy? Dwight Evans just gave him that cracked bat. I'll tell you, you're not going to sleep tonight.
He's a young catcher, too. He's got his cap on backwards.
Count is 0-1 to Evans. And Griffey comes on to make the play. Line drive to left field, and Griffey played it well for the first out. Ball stayed up a long time.
Here's a pitch again. I think Evans got it out on the end of the bat and didn't really drive it. Griffey coming on.
So there's 1 man away, and Wade Boggs steps in. He is hitting now at .352. Bounced into a double play, hit a ground ball to Randolph. Evans stopped in between first and second. Randolph threw to Mattingly for the out, and then they caught Evans in a rundown. 4-3 to 6 on the DP. Guidry has struck out 2. He has not walked the batter. strikes now to Wade Boggs. Got the outside corner. 2-1. Boggs has himself a base hit. If hitting is a science, he's got a PhD.
Well, he's got a good stroke along with the guy standing beside him there at first base, Don Mattingly. Let's watch Boggs now. He'll hit everything that way. Waits on the ball well, lets the ball get well toward the plate. The difference, though, is Mattingly will hit some home runs and drive in some runs for you.
Interesting, we mentioned it Friday night. On Thursday when the Red Sox were in Chicago, they had a home run hitting contest before the game, and Boggs won it. He hit 4. Carlton Fisk didn't hit any. He beat people like his teammates Tony Armas and Jim Rice. And here's Bill Buckner. This could be 2. Randolph, Meacham, 1. Double play for the New York Yankees. The side retired. Yankees second DP of the afternoon. No runs, a hit. The Red Sox do not leave anyone. And through 4, it's still the Yankees 1, Boston nothing. Schweiniger leads it off for the Yankees. We play the 5th inning. Yankees a run on 3 hits. Red Sox no runs on 2 hits. Well, that double play, Boston now has still sent the minimum batters to the plate through 4 innings, 12. 2 DPs. Schweiniger took a call, 3rd strike, and a 1-2 pitch from Roger Clemens. Let's see how his fastball's working here. And that's up high, ball 1. The velocity not anywhere near what it was over the first 2 innings. First 3, really. Down low, ball 2. And he still hasn't messed with the curveball much, Bill.
Well, he knows, and I think Sullivan also, the catcher, realizes he's not getting that curveball over. The first one he threw was in the dirt, way in the dirt, and the others have been high. So you try to stay away from that if you can.
That's 3-0.
But we can see, I think, from up here, and I think the fans can tell on the screen, that fastball is just simply not popping in there anymore. And it's also not cold here in Boston. It's quite warm today. That'll take a little bit out of it.
And we get a conversation on the mound now. Sullivan. Here's John McNamara.
He has had some arm problems in the past. They don't look like they're looking at a blister, so maybe Clemens might be just a little bit tired. And Tim Lawler gets up and starts heating up in the Red Sox bullpen. He might be a little bit tired or fatigued, or maybe the heat's just hit him a little bit here.
As we mentioned, after pitching on May 27th, he suffered a sore shoulder. He missed 3 turns, came back on June the 11th, pitched again on the 16th, then missed 2 more weeks. Came back on July 2nd, pitched 4 innings against Milwaukee, and then did not appear in a ball game again until August 3rd. Shoulder problems. McNamara's had some problems this year. Has not all the members of his band.
He's missing the big bopper out in center field most of the year. He has missed him.
Tony Armas. Count is 3-0 to Weiniger. That's strike 1. Red Sox fans going through a wave. That's those cheers that you'll hear. They'll come right below us in a moment. Tied up. 3-1, right field. Dwight Evans, long run, and he has it. Good defensive play by the veteran right fielder.
And again, a fastball. Weiniger, who struck out last time, pulls this pitch, which sometimes tells you something, and making a fine sliding catch, the right fielder, Dwight Evans.
Tells you that the fastball isn't as fast as the fastball was earlier in the ball game, right? Here's Pagliarulo. He struck out swinging his first at bat. Ball 1.
A veteran could get through this with other pitches, changing speeds, pitch placement. We mentioned Clemens, just 23 years old and only a couple of years out of the University of Texas, and there is a difference.
This is popped up, and it'll go over the roof here at Fenway Park. So the count is 1-1. Fouled away, 1-2. Yankees with a run in the fourth inning and a single by Mattingly moved to second in a ground ball and scored on Griffey's single. Billy Martin facing back and forth in the Yankee dugout. Stu Piniella on the step. Marty Barrett, and there are 2 men away. Barry, realizing how much time he had, elected not to try and grab it on the short hop and made the good play. Two men away, and Bobby Meacham will step in. Meacham bounced to Barrett on his first at bat. Still 1-0 Kansas City over Toronto in the second. Cleveland 2-1 over Detroit in the fifth. Up high, ball one. Chicago leading Milwaukee 3-0 in the second. And California 2-0 over Minnesota in the second inning. There's a strike, 1-1. Outside corner, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Meacham. With 2 men out here in the top of the fifth inning. 1-0 New York. Right to Marty Barrett at second base. And Roger Clemens has a 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across for the Yankees in the top of the fifth through 4.5. It's 1-0 New York. We now pause for station identification. Jim Rice leads it off here in the fifth. He popped to Randolph in his first at bat. Ron Guidry has faced the minimum of 12 batters through the first 4 innings, giving up 2 hits but a couple of double plays. 2-0.
He made Rice reach and pop up in the second inning.
There's a strike, 2-1.
Jim looks like he's looking for everything inside. He's opening up quickly. He's backed up a little bit, seems to me, toward the catcher this year. Get a better look at the ball.
3-1. He's concerned about his eyesight. As mentioned earlier in this series, in the Hall of Fame game up in Cooperstown, he put on prescription glasses. And he's thinking about using them in a ball game, in a regular ball game. Three and 1, and it's fouled away.
Pitch like that, he should be on a lot better. A couple of years ago, even last year, would have eaten up that pitch. Little slider hanging out over the plate like that. He would not have fouled it off, especially off to the right.
That's a good point. Full count pitch coming to Jim Rice.
I think what happens as you get older, perhaps you back up a little bit to try to get a better look at the ball, but then you've got to adjust to that. He's allowing it. He's backed up to get a better look and a longer look, but now he's letting the ball get past him. And he's not being aggressive. The eyes I don't know about. Only he knows that. His ophthalmologist.
3-2, and this is whacked to left field. Griffey plays it nicely off the wall, and he'll hold Jim Rice to a long single down the left field line, leading off the 5th inning for the Red Sox.
Well, that's a Jim Rice we're used to seeing. Here it is again, ball breaking in. He got the head of the bat out and ripped it to left field, and Griffey makes a fine play here. He's doing to Rice what Rice has done to a lot of others.
So Rice is on with a leadoff single. And the center fielder, Tony Armas, will step in. He struck out in a 1-2 pitch back in the 2nd inning. Guidry struck out 2. Now giving up 3 hits. Yankees lead 1-0.
Guidry's been helped by 2 double plays.
Strike 1. Armas led the American League last year in RBIs and home runs.
But he also bounces into a lot of twin killings. Hits the ball sharply on the ground. Or skies it on that screen and left.
There's a strike. Fastball 0-2. Armas missed those 46 games with a torn left calf muscle. He'd had 14 home runs and 46 RBIs before that injury, so he was off to a pretty good start. Fouled away. Count holds 0-2.
Guidry tried to sneak a fastball up and away on Armas. Now you might come back with that slider. He struck him out with a good slider in the 2nd inning. Get a guy looking up, then you get him up and drop that slider down in on him, and you can get him to swing over or even ground into a double play. Look at Armas. With a fastball outside.
Yep, went for a bad pitch. And Armas has struck out twice. And there's 1 man away.
Well, that's where he put his bat before. Now here it is, way outside and low. Armas doesn't go get it, just tries to use his arms to go get it, and he swung through it.
So 1 away, and Mike Easler. He flied to left in his first at bat. Did it with some strength because he really didn't get a good swing at that ball, Bill.
No. Randolph and Meacham just talked to Guidry. I wonder if Guidry added a new pitch with Weininger. Meacham must have seen a sign that he didn't understand. He talked to Guidry, and then Randolph came over and talked to him. The second baseman and the shortstop like to know what's being thrown. Allows them to cheat one way or the other, or decide who will cover second base.
Rice is on at first with 1 out. Strike 1. Yankees have a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Whack to center field. That'll be a base hit. Henderson has trouble with it. But Rice is holding at second, so the Red Sox have put runners at first and second with only 1 man out here in the 5th inning. And Marty Barrett will be stepping in.
This ball is just looped into center field. Easler didn't get it all. Henderson will bobble it, but Rice had already stopped at second base, and he had to stay there.
And there is Rice, the first Red Sox player to reach second base today. And Marty Barrett, who flied to center back in the 3rd inning, steps in. Yankees with a 1-0 lead, but the Red Sox with the go-ahead run on base. Tying run down at second. That's Jim Rice, who you see in the corner of your screen. Strike 1. from second. Easler leads away from first. And Barrett steps out.
Got to add him to that list of players who, the Winfields, the Mayberries, the Hargroves.
Mike Hargrove school of taking a great deal of time.
Yeah. The Hendersons.
Count is 0-1 to Barrett. Red Sox threatening here in the bottom of the fifth. The Yankees with a 1-0 lead. Down low, 1-1. Well, Cleveland's upped its lead over Detroit now to 4-1 in the sixth inning. Kansas City still leading Toronto 1-0 in the third. Billy Martin looking on. You say that punctured lung of Billy Martin's, he was examined yesterday, 95% healed. Second, not in time. Rice got back in time as Pagliarulo stabbed the line drive for the second out.
And this is a slider that stays up. Barrett very seldom pulls the ball. Pulls this one right to Pagliarulo. He'll go to Randolph, but Rice will sneak back in at second base.
Rice a little concerned about his safety there.
Yeah. Didn't want to get hit in the head. Randolph didn't want the ball to go out in the right field either.
2 men away, Jackie Gutierrez, who bounced to Pagliarulo in his first at bat. Yankees with a 1-0 lead. Red Sox threatening here in the bottom of the fifth. Strike one, got the outside corner.
Well, the Barretts and the Gutierrez, they scare you a little bit against Guidry. Loop the ball in here or there. They don't take the big swing. Wait on the ball and try to make contact. A lot of guys are committing themselves a little bit too quickly on Guidry's slider, especially.
There's a fastball down low. Afternoon started out with the bright sunny skies and has become overcast here. Cloud-filled sky, but still just as warm. Runners at first and second. Rice at second. Easler at first with 2 outs. And the count 1-2. And Gutierrez hits it to center field. Henderson makes the play to retire the side. So Ricky Henderson goes way back to end the inning for the Boston Red Sox. Threat by the boards. No runs, 2 hits. Red Sox leave 2 through 5. 1-0 New York. Clouds have completely taken over the area here in Boston as you get a good look at Fenway Park with the Green Monster to your left. Some bleachers out in center and right center field with 2 men out in the 5th inning. Gutierrez up. Hits this one, goes down for the pitch, and Henderson starts in and then has to retreat quickly. And grabs it up over his shoulder and then stumbles down, but that's the 3rd out. See that piece of paper that came out? Some of the fans reacted afterwards. They thought that was the ball, and they thought it had gotten away from Ricky Henderson. But Henderson held on to it, and the side retired. So through 5, the Yankees with a 1-0 lead. Yankee run coming in the 4th inning. Mattingly led off with a single, went to second when Winfield bounced to Clemens and then scored on Ken Griffey's single to right field. Clemens is out on the mound. McNamara is now going to come out and talk to him. We've talked about Clemens' shoulder problems, but you wonder why this wasn't discussed while in the bullpen. We may get a pitching change here. Tim Lawler, the left-hander, and the right-hander out in the bullpen for the Red Sox, I believe, is Mark Clear, and that is going to be it. So Clemens will leave after pitching 5 innings, a 4-hit ball. He struck out 3, and he walked 1. And while that'll be Crawford coming in. So Steve Crawford will make the run in from the bullpen. And he'll get as much time as he needs to get ready. For Clemens, in his 5 innings, he walked 1, struck out 3, gave up the 4 hits. We commented on that fact that he started off with a great deal of heat, tremendous velocity on his fastball. In the 2nd inning, he struck out Baylor and Weiniger, and then got Pagliarulo to lead off the 3rd inning, so he had struck out 3 of 4 batters. But then the velocity left him, and the Yankees got that run in the 4th. So while Crawford takes his warm-up tosses with the Yankees leading at 1-0 as we start the 6th inning, let's take time out for this word. Trolled swings. Here's Don Mattingly. Fly to left. Opened the 4th inning with a single to center, and then scored on Ken Griffey's single. There's a strike. Mattingly began the day 4th in the American League at .326. Inside corner, good fastball, 0-2. Crawford's come out, he's throwing strikes.
And all these hitters better start swinging. Mr. Kaiser's getting wet behind the plate. He's got, look at that shirt. He's soaking. He better leave the dugout swinging. Both teams.
That's fouled away. Still 0-2. Pitcher's duel here at Fenway Park.
Look at there. He's soaking wet. Working hard. Players get to go in and sit down and get a little water or whatever they want to drink, and the umpires have to be out there for all 9.
I think that fans tend to forget that. I tend to forget it sometimes. You don't realize it. It's a tough job out there. Up high. 1-2.
Making a little bit uncomfortable for Mattingly.
Two and two. Steve Crawford on relief of Roger Clemens here in the 6th inning.
Just got a report from the Red Sox, and their team doctor, Dr. Pappas, said that Clemens left mainly because of fatigue. No pain factor at all, just simply got tired.
That's what he was saying through those first 3 innings. He did not look like he was facing himself. Mattingly hits this one to left field. Rice will watch it off the wall, and he'll hold Mattingly to a single.
Oh, he knows exactly what that ball's going to do, doesn't he?
He just stood there with his hands in his hip.
Yeah.
And waited.
That's the 3rd time in the last 2 days that Mattingly has hit one off that fence over Rice's head. Here it is again. The fastball tailing away. Mattingly up under it and uppercuts it toward left. Look at Rice.
Yeah.
Now he'll turn around and the ball comes right back to him. He even grabs it barehanded.
Makes it look easy. You try it sometime, though. You go out there, you spend hours, and you work on that if you're going to play that position here at Fenway Park.
By the way, that's Mattingly's 6th base hit in this series.
6-4-11. Here's Winfield. Ball, strike 1. Guy's just telling him, just get back in and hit.
Well, it's always the byplay between the hitter and the umpire is always, it's amusing.
It wasn't amusing when they called a bad one on you, was it?
Well, but the byplay was. Oh. Some of the words said.
That's outside. Winfield's 0 for 2. He Hit back to Clemens both times, but the second time he did it, it helped develop a run for the Yankees. He hit it slowly, and Mattingly, who had singled, was able to advance to second.
You're always trying to make the umpire see things your way. If you can't hit the inside pitch, everything inside, you yell and scream about it.
This one is up the power alley in right field. Mattingly is running. Mattingly will score, and Winfield will dig it toward third base and begin with a stand-up triple, and the Yankees lead it 2-0.
Well, the Yankees won 2. Mattingly and Winfield coming through here in the 6th inning. Mattingly a single off the wall, and Winfield rips this one into right center field. A breaking ball, looked like it might have been a slider. The Yankees were lucky here. Instead of bouncing into that bullpen area, it kicked off the wall, stayed in play. Mattingly scored easily, and Winfield went on to third base. Had the ball bounce into that bullpen area, the Yankees would have runners at second and third, and 1 out. But they've got to run in, they've got to run at third and lead 2-0.
And handshakes and high fives for Don Mattingly, who scores Winfield's 4th triple of the year.
And his 4th run batted in the series. The Red Sox have to bring their infield in.
Ken Griffey, who singled home the 1st run, takes ball 1. There's only 1 man out. We're in the 6th. The Yankees now with a 2-0 lead. Boggs at third, Gutierrez at short, and Winfield leading from third. And it's fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Griffey walked in the 2nd, went to second when Clemens balked. After his RBI single in the 4th, he stole second, but was left stranded with 1 man out. Got 1 out here, 1 run in, and a 2-0 Yankee lead. Short left field, long run for Rice. He will not get it. It gets by him. And Griffey will go into second as Winfield scores easily. If Rice catches that ball, Winfield no chance to tag up. But Rice couldn't get to it, and it skittered by.
He had a long run for that ball, and he tried to play it safe and block it. Could not. Let's watch it again. Griffey gets under the ball, in on the bat. Here's Rice digging for the ball. Up here we could see that he could not get to it, but here hits and a lot of English skips by Rice, and had Griffey been really running, he could have been at third base. He starts up again, ends up at second.
So Griffey's second RBI, 2 runs in. Yankees lead 3-0. And Don Baylor pops this one up. Bill Buckner makes the play in foul territory for the second out. Griffey stays at second.
Tim Lawler up and throwing again in the Red Sox bullpen.
And Willie Randolph, who's bounced out twice, is the batter. I think it's going to rain.
Well, someone behind us, the groundskeeper, said that it's supposed to rain today. They expect it. Of course, it's an official ball game.
Right field, long run for Dwight Evans, but he will catch up to it, and the side is retired. But the Yankees come up with 2 runs on 3 hits off Steve Crawford. They lead 1 through 5.5. It's now 3-0 New York.
Mets 6, Cubs 2 in the 6th. Phillies over the Cardinals 4-1 in the 8th, and Montreal in the 6th inning. It's Pittsburgh 5, Montreal 3. Now, American League scores: Cubs 4. The American League scores: White Sox 4, Milwaukee nothing in the 4th. In the 5th inning, California leading Minnesota 4-0. Cleveland 4, Detroit 1 in the 6th, and Kansas City still leading Toronto 1-0 in the third. Tonight, Baltimore will be at Texas. And the other score we don't have, Oakland playing at Seattle. That's a game out on the West Coast. Spencer?
Just thinking of that Chicago series, Bill. Tom Seaver pitched Thursday or Friday night. Yankees may see Seaver.
Yep.
That series in Chicago. We'll have all 3 games for you here on WPIX 11 Alive, the Yankee Television Network. Ron Guidry pitching to Mark Sullivan to lead it off in the 6th, strike 1. Sullivan struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Guidry has struck out 2 and has not walked a batter.
The amazing thing is that the youngster, the 23-year-old right-hander, is tired. And here's Guidry still throwing fastball because he's mixed his pitches up and he's paced himself.
Fouled straight back, and the count is 0-2. If this were tennis, you'd say advantage Guidry.
Well, Guidry will be 35 on the 28th of this month. By the way, Bill Mambo Kett.
That's right. Birthday time.
He's 49 today, the Yankees' new pitching coach.
0-2 to Sullivan, and he fouls it. Now the big crowd on hand. Had over 33,000 in each of the first 2 games of this series, so they may go over 100,000 for the 3.
Oops, Sullivan wanted to go and change bats, and Kaiser wants to make sure it's broken. Now that's something I don't understand. He's going to use Evans' bat. He probably hit a home run. Remember the last time a bat was exchanged at home plate here? Bucky Dent had a home run with Mickey Rivers' bat.
Right.
Back in 1978.
I think part of the reason, and this is just speculation on my part, to speed the game up.
Yeah, but the game's being played 3 or 4 hours anyway.
That's right.
A lot of other things slow it down.
That's ball 2, 2-2 to Mark Sullivan. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Yankees 3, Red Sox nothing. Fouled away. I passed a bookstore yesterday, Bill, and they had a book in the window. Yankees and the Red Sox, baseball's greatest rivalry. And I started thinking about it. And I guess it really is. I guess when the Dodgers and the Giants both played in New York City, maybe that was at one point. But right now, with the Dodgers 500 miles away from the Giants, and the Giants, but not really that great a club, it's more memory.
Well, you got different fans, too, out there on the West Coast. They are not as rabid as the fans, I don't think, in New York.
This is indeed some great rivalry. Never forgiven New York for taking Babe Ruth.
Hey, that the Giant-Dodger rivalry, and when both teams were in New York, was some kind of rivalry.
Oh, that was the tops. Ball 4, as Sullivan works Guidry for a base on balls after Guidry was ahead of him at 0-2. First walk issued by Ron Guidry.
I was part of that. I guess the final year both teams were in New York in 1956 with the Giants.
You could feel it. I mean,
it touched me.
Yeah, you could feel it, the intensity.
Yep. Fights on the field, in the stands.
One year, Carl Furillo went into the dugout and beat up on Leo DeRocher. I think he broke his hand. Was out the rest of the season. He wound up winning the batting title.
Yep, I think he hit .323 that year and won it.
Dwight Evans. Infield single in the first, fly to left. Ball 1.
Now that Ebbets Field was a park. You're right next to the fans.
It's 340 to left field, much like this park, but they just had a little 8-foot wall. 297 to right, which you liked, with that
high
scoreboard, high screen.
Usual like.
Yeah, music loved. 393 to center. That's fouled straight back.
Snyder like it.
Yeah.
Left-handed hitter sitting among all those big, strong right-handed hitters. Let's see, guy like Campanella, Reese, Hodges,
Robinson,
Perella, Robinson.
Yeah, being a lefty in that club is.
Oh yeah, and he was the only one.
Yeah, Snyder. Foul back again, and the count is 1-2.
Jim Gilliam, switch hit.
Move Jackie Robinson over to third. Exciting time for three teams in New York. Count to Evans, 1-2. Yankees lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the sixth. Outside, 2-2.
Nobody getting loose in the Yankee bullpen. Yankees leading it by 3. It's 3-zip. I think if someone gets on, though, Martin will get somebody up. Haven't seen Fisher up throwing lately.
Well, they pitched both games of that doubleheader against Cleveland on Thursday night, nearly 5 innings. There's Sullivan away from first. And the count will hold 2-2. Guidry had a tough inning in the fifth. Rice singled after Arma struck out. Easler singled to center, first and second, with 1 out. Barrett hit a hard line drive that Pagliarulo caught, and Gutierrez hit deep to center. So perhaps an indication that Guidry may be tiring just a little bit. Now Sullivan walks to lead off. Two and two, the count to Evans. Right center field, long run, way back. Winfield could not get it. Sullivan will hold at third, and Dwight Evans is in with a stand-up double.
Ball's really taking off in the outfield. Winfield looked like he thought he had a shot at that, then hurried. He had to change speed to try to get to the ball, hit at the base of the wall in deep right center, just in front of the Red Sox bullpen. Let's watch it again. Looked like it was a routine fly ball when it left the bat. Here's Henderson digging. Winfield coming from the other side. Just out of reach. The ball hits the base of the wall. Winfield can't find it, but Henderson can. And Sullivan goes on to third base, and we will get some action now in the Yankee bullpen, and it is Fisher. Brian Fisher loosening up.
The Red Sox threatening here in the sixth, and Wade Boggs is at the plate. Strike one. Sullivan walked to lead off the inning after Guidry had him 0-2, and Evans goes to the opposite field, the power alley, in right center for a double. Strike two. Boggs bounced into a double play and singled to left. Fouled straight back. Somebody was saying yesterday, I forget who it was, but somebody in the clubhouse, that if they allowed you to put 20 men in the field, he thought Wade Boggs would still find a way to get a base hit. 0-2 to Boggs. Second and third, nobody out for the Sox. Bottom of the sixth, 3-0 New York. Ball one. John McNamara looking on. Had a good game from his starting pitcher who tired. And then Crawford came out in the sixth inning and gave up 2 runs. 2-2.
uncomfortable. Boggs sitting in there and just watching and watching, and he had to back away from that. First time we've seen Guidry come inside on anybody this year, and that really wasn't that close, but you've got to pitch a little bit inside if you want to pitch away.
Left field. Griffey is over, and he could not get the ball.
It's a foul ball, though. It's a foul ball. It's foul. Third base umpire, and he said a fan touched the ball, and they might call the batter out.
Well, we were completely screened out, just like you were at home.
They called fan interference, and I believe Boggs might be out. John McNamara coming in. Larry Barnett made the call. Evidently Griffey, and we could not see it from here, was under the ball waiting for it, and a fan reached out, touched the ball. Barnett, using one of his prerequisites, said, hey, Griffey would have caught the ball. You're out, Boggs, and we'll send the runners back. And McNamara does not want to hear that, but he's got to, and it'll be an out. Let's watch it again. Here's Griffey going into the corner. And a fan there, right there in a little brownish sweater, grabbed the ball or tried to get it, and it was off his glove. Meacham runs it down, but Boggs is out because of fan interference. You know, normally you see that the other way, where a ground ball in Yankee Stadium, a fan, it's a base hit, the fan will touch it, and the umpire will say, well, you get a single or double. But here, you're allowed to call the runner out.
And it cost the Red Sox a run. If Ken Griffey catches that ball in the position he's in, there's a good chance Mark Sullivan might have been able to score from third base. Instead, there's one out, and Bill Buckner. Foul ball. So instead of it being a 3-1 ball game with one out, it is still 3-0.
And Griffey will get the put out. He was closest to the play. Give the fan an assist.
He was closer. Buckner's 0 for 2. He popped to short and bounced into a double play. Guidry's been helped today by a pair of DPs. One in the first, another one in the fourth. Fouled straight back. Still 0-2. Buckner, who came over from the Cubs last season. Good deal for the Red Sox. He's a good ball player.
Well, he not only helped him with the bat, but he also helped him at first base. Dig a lot of bad throws out of the dirt.
Made Gutierrez a better shortstop, didn't he? And Boggs at third. 0-2. Just outside, 1-2. Buckner's got a good eye. He's only struck out 23 times this year at 442 at bats. So he'll make contact. Three-0 Yankees. Bottom of the sixth. Second and third. One man out for Boston. This will score a run. Randolph will go on to first for the second out, as Sullivan scores, and the Red Sox are on the board at 3-1. Buckner gets his 69th RBI of the season, and Evans moves over to third. And here is Jim Rice. Popped to second. Singled off the wall in the fifth inning, and Griffey played it nicely and held him to a one-base hit. Ball one. A walk to Sullivan, a double by Evans, and Buckner's ground ball scores the run. Ball two. Guidry takes that walk behind the mound, says a couple of things to himself, and goes back to work. 1. Still 1-0 Kansas City over Toronto in the third, but they've had that score up there a long time. Ball 3, 3-1 to Jim Rice. Only Ron Guidry could tell you if he's tiring a bit, but he gave up those 2 hits in the 5th. His first walk here and the double. And it's now 3-2. Billy Martin concerned about that also. Gene Michael to the right of your screen. Here's the full count pitch to Jim Rice. Center field. And Rickey Henderson is there. The side is retired. The Red Sox come up with a run on 1 base hit. They leave 1. And on the Dodge scoreboard, after 6 innings, it's the Yankees 3, Boston 1. We pause now for station identification. From the Boston Red Sox, but 3 more innings to go in a hitter's ballpark. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Weininger struck out and fly to right field in the game. He's 0 for 2. And a ball.
They put the lights on here, Bill. It has gotten overcast and getting dark.
Now, normally they try to do that at the beginning of an inning. 2 balls, no strikes on Weininger. Butch now 3 for 9 in the series. He struck out in the 2nd inning, flied to right field. A fine catch by the right fielder Dwight Evans in the 5th. 2 balls and a strike on Weininger. Yankees with a run in the 4th. Ken Griffey drove it in. They picked up 2 more in the 6th. The triple by Winfield driving in Mattingly. And a looping double to left by Griffey driving in Winfield.
They're changing the scoreboard now. I think Kansas City's going to come up with some more runs. This is the old-fashioned scoreboard. They're going to take the numbers out. They have come up with another one. They lead Toronto now 2-0. Danny Jackson against Bill Musselman for the Jays.
A bit high to Weininger. 3-1. Yankees, as of now, 7 games behind Toronto in the American League East. The last 2 days, they picked up 2 games. And Weininger walks on a 3-1 pitch. Crawford in relief of Clemens. Here's Palirulo. He is struck out and bounced out. 0 for 2, 1 for 7 in the series. 10 home runs for Pax and 37 runs batted in. Foul, no chance for Boggs off third base. Yankees trying to pick up another run. They lead 3-1 here in the 7th. The lucky fan, recipient of a baseball from Wade Boggs. Over near the Yankee dugout.
A lot of fans without their shirts on, hoping to get some sun. They did earlier. Now all clouds.
Palirulo tried to squeeze in a run yesterday and popped into a double play. Pitch shot, but Weininger not going. I think the last 2 guys you'd try the hit and run with would be Palirulo and Weininger.
With the sun not out, takes away a little bit of an advantage from a pitcher, Bill, with the shadows that would normally come out in between home plate and the pitcher's mound as the day progresses.
Well, maybe Crawford thinks that Weininger might try to steal.
I wonder what scouting report he got.
That's low and away.
Looked at the wrong W. Winfield, maybe. No.
Weininger has no stolen bases and no attempts this year. checking out Weininger over his career. He has a total of 2.
Now, he's not a threat. He'll be the first one to tell you that, too.
Stole 1 in '83 and stole 1 last year. 3-1 on Pags. Steve Crawford ran into trouble last inning. His first, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, and working himself in trouble here in the 7th. Like big Bob Stanley gets up and starts heating up in the Red Sox bullpen. 3-2 on Pagliarulo.
There is Bob Stanley in the bullpen. He was very ineffective on Friday night.
Full count on Mike Pagliarulo with the runner at first and nobody out. The Yankees leading 3-1 in the 7th inning. Weininger will not go, and Pagliarulo pops it up. Gutierrez, the shortstop, struggling out there. He gives way to Tony Armas, the center fielder, for the first out.
Want to let that man coming in make the play. And finally, Armas just called Gutierrez off. So we watch it again. Gutierrez keeps going, pats his glove, and then here's Armas behind him. And gets out of the way for the first out.
But donde va Tony? Here's Bobby Meacham. Meacham's bounced to second twice in the ball game. He's 0 for 2. And he takes a strike. Meacham 3 for 9 in the series against the Red Sox.
Red Sox may not be expecting it, but I don't know. Perhaps Meacham might lay one down here, Bill.
Well, he takes wide again. It's 1-1.
Got Henderson on deck.
Field for the second out. Back at first base is Butch Weininger. And now we'll get Ricky Henderson. Henderson still at 348 with a 1 for 3 day so far. Bounced to shortstop in the first, single to left field in the third. Off the wall. Fine play by Jim Rice. Then struck out in the 6th. Third leading hitter in the American League coming in behind George Brett and Wade Boggs. Ball 1. Well, the Blue Jays have tied it.
In the 5th inning, Toronto and Kansas City are tied at 2-2.
Play right side. Here the Yankees lead 3-1 in the 7th. Weininger at first base, and there are 2 outs.
Let's watch it again.
It's a top hand.
Yeah, again, that top hand.
Yeah.
Henderson.
A young lady. Worries about the bat coming in both ways. And the ball coming back down.
It's a beach ball.
Won't let you play pepper anymore anywhere. Used to be a highlight of the game to watch a guy get a bat and about 5 guys line up in front of him, throw the ball to him, and hit the ball to each one. Good for batting practice for your eye, and good for fielding practice for the guys with the glove. But it also messed up some grass around home plate, so they said you can't do it anymore. Still 2-2 on Henderson.
The derivation, I wonder. Happy little workout, whatever. You know.
The players don't even play flip anymore. Pitchers used to flip a ball around the circle. Of course, a lot of them got stepped on and got spiked, and I think a lot of clubs discourage even flip. Barrett will back up at second, and he throws out Henderson. No runs, no hits, a man left on base, but played 6.5 here in Boston, and the Yankees lead the Red Sox 3-1.
But Boston has gotten 3 of its 5 base hits over the last 2 innings. Joe Cowley with a headset on. Joe coming up with another victory yesterday. He's now 10-5. That's Marty Bystrom who was right. Cowley was 9-2 last year, so you put those two together, that's 19-7 over the last 2 years. It's a pretty darn good record. And the Yankees with a 3-1 lead here. Tony Armas, who's had trouble with Ron Guidry this afternoon, will step in to lead it off. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Armas has struck out twice. Ball 1. Armas at 238. 16 home runs, 34 runs batted in. We got no reaction from Cowley when you mentioned his name. He's probably listening to Ken Coleman and Joe Castiglione, the broadcasters for the Red Sox. It's 1-1 on Armas. Randolph has an easy play at second. 1 away. I used to listen to Ken Coleman when he did football broadcasts for the Cleveland Browns. Ken is also an author of a book on broadcasting.
That's right. I've seen that book. He was talking yesterday when he was in Cleveland. He had a 10-year-old. When Billy Martin was in Cleveland in 1959, he used to take his 10-year-old to the ballpark. His kid was playing Little League. Billy would work him at second base every day.
Mike Easler. He's flied to left, single to center. 1 for 2 against Guidry. Funny, we listen to the games in Cleveland. We've got this guy with the New England accent talking about Otto Graham or whomever was playing.
That's some good football teams, the Brownies back then.
2 strikes on Easler.
Yeah, football season got underway last night for the New York teams right here on WPIX. The Giants beat Denver 30-20. Jets didn't fare well, though. Joe Walton's ball club beaten by the Philadelphia Eagles 37-17 at the Meadowlands. Wish both teams good luck in 85.
Got him. Good slider. Easler caught looking. That's strikeout number 4 for Guidry. And they're 2 outs. Ron Guidry, who will celebrate his 35th birthday later on this month, still has that good slider.
Here we watch it again. And it is strike 3. And there There are 2 men away.
Marty Barrett's fly to center, line to third. He's 0 for 2. Red Sox had Guidry on the ropes in the 5th inning. They had runners at first and second with 1 down. Barrett lined to third, and Gutierrez fly to center. This is into center field. Ricky Henderson. And that'll retire the side. Henderson having fun out in center. 3 up, 3 down. We played 7. Yankees 3, Boston 1.
Sorry, kids, but summer cannot last forever. So here's some good news. A great back-to-school giveaway coming up during the upcoming Red Sox series at the stadium. M&M's Chocolate Candies presents Yankee Backpack Day on Monday, August 19th. All fans 14 and under attending the Yankee Red Sox series finale. That's on Monday, the 19th. It's a 1 o'clock afternoon game. We'll take home a free Yankee backpack made of sturdy canvas. Compliments of M&M Chocolate Candies. Good seats on sale for the Red Sox series. You may not want to go back to school, but you got to go back to school, and you'll have yourself a nice backpack. And here's Don Mattingly to lead it off for the Yankees. 8th inning, 3-1, New York.
Mattingly's 2 for 3 in the ball game, and he scored 2 runs. And Crawford's first pitch is a called strike. Mattingly does not like it. I think most of the hitters have expressed some displeasure with the ball strike calls here this afternoon. Nobody's gotten in Kaiser's face. But they make their displeasure known by walking away. It's 1-1 on Mattingly. Inside, 2-1. I don't think too many people want to charge Kenneth Kaiser.
He's not going to back away either.
Oh, by the way, in the left again. This one playable, I believe, unless the wind takes it, and the wind will take it high off the wall. And this time, Mattingly has a double. That's the 4th time he has hit that wall here at Fenway in the last 2 ball games. The other 3 base hit singles.
And this is 35th double of the season. But as you said, Bill, Rice thought he had a play on it, and he doesn't make mistakes like that. But the wind is blowing out toward left. And at the last moment, he realizes it. And under the circumstances, he gets back and makes a pretty darn nice play. But Mattingly is in with a stand-up double. Oh, by the way, you started.
Tony La Russa was suspended a couple of ball games by American League President Bobby Brown. We were talking about bumping umpires, and La Russa, with that bumping incident at the Yankee Stadium, has to sit out 2 ball games, and he says, "Okay."
He could be his own attorney. Tony is a.
He won't appeal though.
No.
Winfield, 1 for 3, an RBI triple in the 6th inning, and he takes the ball. Yankees leading 3-1, trying to put another run on the board here late. We're in the top of the 8th inning. That's high, 2-0 on Winfield.
That hit by Mattingly, he should be up right around 330 now. And slowly but surely, he's coming up on the leaders. And again, I believe if it's in the 340s, he's going to have one good shot at winning that batting title again.
Winfield takes the strike, 3-1. Mattingly's problem is that he has the burden of having to also drive in runs. That's the problem of a Brett and of a Mattingly. While Boggs, I think he can hit for Boggs. Bat him either first or second, and he can be quite selfish in his hitting. So I always worry about a Wade Boggs, or look for Boggs to always hit well. 2-2 on Winfield. Boggs uses left field. Mattingly uses the whole field, and Brett does it all. He can hit for power. It's a ball hard left center, right center.
Boggs calls Brett idle. Doesn't call him by his first idle. That's it, period.
Well, Brett has to drive in runs too.
Yeah.
That's could be his problem getting down the stretch when you try to do more than you should be doing. That'll get the runner over. Gutierrez has a tough play, and Mattingly will be waved home. And Winfield will go to second, and the Yankees now lead by a score of 4-1.
Well, Gutierrez, as you said, Mattingly was going to advance to third, but that chopper, Winfield's been hitting a lot of those recently. And that ball just bounced by Gutierrez, and as we've seen so many times, Winfield just didn't stop running. He has good anticipation. He measures things. Once Gutierrez kind of nonchalanted it, it got by him. Mattingly is waved on home by Gene Michael, and Winfield, the alert base runner that he is, he just never stopped. He realized that he had the shot at going more than first base, and he did. As you see, the ball picked up at center field, and Winfield's in easily, and the Yankees now take a 4-1 lead.
I think the Red Sox might be a bit unhappy because Gutierrez did not try to get in front of that ball to keep it in the infield. Here's Griffey.
I guess they got to rule out a double.
It is a double and a run batted in for Winfield.
An infield double.
Gutierrez plays the ball one-handed, and he plays it off to the side. Normally does a good job, but on a play like that, you've got to make sure that if you don't make it, it'll bounce off your body, and you can control it, and at least a run would not have scored. They would have, Yankees might have had runners at first and third with nobody out, but now they've got to run in. 2 strikes on Griffey. Griffey has singled in a run and doubled in a run and walked, so he's 2 for 2. Cleveland still leading the Tigers 7-2. Cleveland over Detroit in the 8th inning. Detroit 3 games behind the Yankees in 3rd place. Off Crawford, and that's going to be another base hit, as the Red Sox gloves have springs in them here in the 8th inning. Winfield goes to third.
And a perfect day for Griffey. 3 for 3 and a walk. This one right back to Crawford. He gets the glove up, but he flinched out of the way a little bit of it, and it bounces off his glove. It'll go as an infield hit, and the Yankees now with runners at first and third, and there is still nobody out, and the Yankees have scored one to take a 4-1 lead.
McNamara saying, what else can happen to my ball club here this afternoon? He doesn't want to watch that. I don't blame him. Ball played badly at shortstop. Bounced up the middle, glancing off the heel of the glove. The Yankees leading by 3 and threatening to score more. Don Baylor struck out twice and fouled out. Infield in for the Red Sox. And that's a ball. Stanley's up and throwing, and he's now watching the action from the bullpen in right field. Crawford came on in the 6th inning, replacing the starter Roger Clemens, who, as of now, is a pitcher of record. The youngster went the first 5, had to leave because of fatigue. Center. And it's a short hop by Evans. Baylor will have a double and a run will score, and the Yankees lead by a score of 5-1. Excellent play by Dwight Evans. He didn't come up with the ball, but he saved another run scoring.
Came up, said, I have it, but no way, said the second base umpire Rocky Rowe, who had run out there. Evans short hopped it. Of course, he took a gamble. The ball gets by him. Another run would score. Baylor would have at least a triple. And that is going to be it for Steve Crawford. Bob Stanley will come on. An RBI for Baylor, number 75, as Griffey moves to third. And Winfield scores, and the Yankees have now opened it up here to a 5-1 lead as we play the top half of the 8th inning. So Bob Stanley will come on. Crawford went 2 innings plus. Gave up 7 hits, 4 in a row here in the 8th inning, but in his defense, 2 of them were questionable. Gutierrez unable to play a chopped ground ball, and then the little bounce into the mound that got by Steve Crawford. So Bob Stanley will come on. Yankees looking for a sweep of this 3-game series. While Stanley warms up, let's check through the scoreboard. Toronto with 2 runs in the 5th inning, now tied with Kansas City at 2 as they play the 7th. Ron Musselman started for the Jays. Dennis Lamb came on in the 4th. Danny Jackson for the Royals. Steve Farr now on in the 7th. Final, it was Cleveland 7, Detroit 2. Neil Heaton beat Randy O'Neal. California with 10, Minnesota nothing as they play the bottom of the 7th. John Candelaria with his first start for the Angels. John Butcher started for Minnesota. They've had 4 pitchers on in the ball game. They've gone 8 now in Chicago, and the White Sox lead Milwaukee 4-1. Joel Davis, his first start for the White Sox. Dan Spillner has come on in the 8th, and Ray Burris in for Milwaukee. Oakland at Seattle. Bill Kruger against Billy Swift. Let's watch this play again as Baylor takes the ball to right center field and Dwight Evans hustles over. Yeah, no doubt, Bill.
Boy, that's a fine play, though. He really cut that ball off well. That gets by him. Another run scores.
Yep.
He smothered that ball well. Yep. Then did a little acting, but he couldn't persuade second base umpire Rocky Road that he'd caught it. So now here's Randolph.
I'll give you the National League scores in just a moment.
This is a perfect spot for the squeeze. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Randolph takes inside. There are no outs. Willie's 0 for 3. He's grounded to 2nd, to short, and also flied to right field. That's on the inside corner, and it's 1-1 on Randolph. Griffey at 3rd. Baylor down at 2nd. Bob Stanley pitching to Willie Randolph.
Stanley came out Friday night with the Red Sox leading 6-4. Bases were loaded. Let the bases clear, gave up 2 more runs. Ineffective performance for him.
That'll be out of play. The Yankees have tried to squeeze twice in the series. In game 1 it worked with Weiniger. Yesterday it did not with Palirulo.
In the National League, the Mets with Ed Lynch beat Chicago 6-2. Montreal 6-5 over Pittsburgh. Phillies beat the Cardinals 4-1. So the Mets have taken over first place by a full game over St. Louis in the National League East.
All right, Spencer, the count here 1-2 on Randolph. And Baylor's got hung up for some reason. He went on to third base. Now they're going to have Griffey hung up. And Griffey sneaks back in. Now they've got Baylor hung up. All he's got to do is run Baylor on, and Barrett tags him. I'm not sure Baylor realized that Griffey was at third base. As soon as that ball was hit, he ran up behind Gutierrez. And there's one down.
And the Red Sox misplayed this one a bit because they had a shot at Griffey. Watch it here. Ball is played by Gutierrez. And there's Baylor already ahead of Gutierrez. The throw comes back to the plate. Sullivan throws. Griffey gets back. Throw back to second now. And Barrett begins running Baylor back to third. And he'll tag Baylor out. In the meantime, Randolph remains at first.
He didn't want to start running.
No.
Everybody would have been tagged.
Did you get the scoring on that?
Yeah, the shortstop Gutierrez 6 to the catcher Sullivan 2 to the third baseman Boggs 5 to the second baseman Barrett 4. 6-2-5-4. Here's Weiniger now batting with runners at first and third and one down. And Butch takes the strike. Yankees leading 5-1 in the 8th inning. Baylor tried to dazzle the Red Sox infielders with footwork. Didn't work. Either forgot Griffey was over third and thought Griffey might be moving, although the infield was in. Weiniger is struck out, robbed of a base hit by Dwight Evans, and he's walked. That's out of play.
Red Sox infield now back at double play depth with runners at first and third and Weiniger at the plate. Bob Stanley signed that big $1 million contract, and he hasn't been satisfied with his performance. And he's blown 8 leads and 6 ties coming in for the Red Sox this year, and that's not the kind of performance the Red Sox or Bob Stanley wanted.
I remember Stanley's ball used to sink well. Kept the ball down. That just missed outside.
He still says that's his best pitch, but for some reason he's gotten away from it, and he's trying to get back to it.
Just go buy some Vaseline. That'll get you back to it quickly. 1-2 on Weiniger. It's going to be the fastball away. Sinker, and that missed away. It's 2-2. Trying to pick up another run here. They lead 5-1. They've gotten 2 in the 8th, and they have runners at first and third with just 1 away. And the squeeze is on, and they've got Griffey. 1 throw, they tag him, and Randolph goes to second. And that's the inning. The inning is over. Weiniger strikes out as he throws a bat at the ball, and they touch up on Griffey. Yankees pick up 2 runs on 4 hits. They leave a man on base, and at the end of 7.5 innings of play, the Yankees lead Boston 5-1.
The betting advertisers of New York Yankee baseball are your Toyota dealer in the extra value package trucks that can now save you big bucks on added features. Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. Citibank, when you bank at Citibank, it's your city. Your Tri-State Dodge dealers will invite you to test drive Poetry in Motion, the 1985 Dodge Lancer, and buy the New York Yankees. Well, you saw a replay of that double play on the attempted squeeze to close out the inning, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 5-1 Yankees, Bill.
And the strike is called on Jackie Gutierrez, who's grounded to third, fly to center field. He'll be followed by Rich Gedman, who's on the on-deck circle. Gedman will bat for Mark Sullivan. 2 strikes on Gutierrez. Yankees trying for sweep before 33,685 here at Fenway Park. All 3 crowds have been over 33,000.
With those extra folks, they wind up with over 100,000 for the 3-game series.
Waste pitch outside. Check swing by Gutierrez. He started and held up 2-2. Guidry has 9 complete games this year. He's looking for his 15th win of the year. How about that Andujar with the Cardinals? He's won 18. Joaquin. Winfield, an easy play and right. 1 out.
20-year-old kid at Shea Stadium, 18-3.
Forgot about him. Yeah. How can I forget about Gooden?
What a marvelous athlete. Yesterday's game, I was told he played down a beautiful sacrifice bunt. Another time they were expecting a bunt. He hit away and hit the ball right to the shortstop spot with the shortstop going to cover second base. And had a base hit. Rich Gedman will hit here for Mark Sullivan.
Got Gedman batting .309, 9 home runs, 48 runs batted in. He's been slapping the ball the other way, and that one a check swing. A check swing by Gedman. And bounced off third. A lot, they would send the left-handed batter up to bat against Guidry. We look at Martin and Michael. And he hits the ball. Palirulo bobbles it. He'll have no play. E5. Make the bobbles on the easy ones.
That's Palirulo's 8th error of the season. And it gives a breath of hope to the Red Sox here. Easy ball. And Bax just misplayed it. rolled up on his glove. By the time he picks it up, no chance to make a throw.
Well, he's got an awfully big glove. The ball will get lost in there. Paliulo. Not Evans. Evans working with batting gloves. He's single off Paliulo's glove. Fly to left field, double to right center. Evans coming out of his slump. He's 2 for 3. And 4 for 12 against Yankee pitching. Yankees are leading by 4. Let's take 10 seconds along the Yankee television network for station identification. So Guidry pitching to Evans with a runner at first and 1 down in the 8th inning. Straightaway center. Henderson misjudged the ball and can't get to it. They're going to hold the runner at third base.
No doubt about it. Ricky Henderson misplays. That line drive started coming in and going to the left, and then had to turn completely around. And his body kind of in an awkward position as he finally did get back there as we take another look at it. Henderson now turning, and in a very tough position to catch this ball as it goes over his glove. And it'll go as a double.
I think he ought to play a little deeper because the wind is carrying the ball out to it.
So it's now second and third. Only 1 man away in an inning. By all rights, it should have been over. Paliulo bobbling Gedman's ground ball, and while that is ruled a double, it was misjudged by Ricky Henderson.
Once again, Brian Fisher will get up and start loosening up in the Yankee bullpen along with Dave Righetti as Wade Boggs steps in. 1 for 3 today, and it's a ball. Boggs bounced to Randolph. Oh, Shirley's up now. Bob Shirley's up with Fisher. He's not Righetti. 1-1 on Boggs. Bounced to Randolph, who turned it into a double play in the first, single to left center in the 4th, and was called out as a fan interfered with the fly ball down the left field line in the 6th. Base hit. They'll have to hold the runner at third. Gedman scores. Yankees now lead 5-2. Boggs has just picked up his 51st run batted in and his second hit of the game.
And the tying run will be coming to the plate. In the person of Bill Buckner. It is now 5-2, and Billy Martin will come out of the dugout to talk with Ron Guidry. Jackie Gutierrez started off the inning by flying to Winfield. Gedman hitting for Sullivan in a harmless ground ball to Paliulo. He bobbled it. Instead of 2 outs, 1 out, man on first. Then Evans stroked one to center that Henderson misjudged. Instead of 3 outs, it's a double, second and third, and Boggs with a clean single to left to make it 5-2. Evans moving to third, runners at the corners, only 1 man out, and that's going to be it for Ron Guidry, who goes 7 1/3 innings and gets a great round of applause from the Red Sox crowd. And a tip of the cap. So Guidry goes 7 1/3, gives up 7 hits. He walked 1, and he struck out 4 Boston Red Sox. Gives up 2 runs, but he's responsible for those runners on base. And Bob Shirley will make his way in from the bullpen. Wade Boggs with a clean single to left to make this one a 5-2 ball game. He just strokes it to that opposite field. Evans, who was on second, had no eyes at all about trying to come home. But scoring is Gedman to make it 5-2, and Evans parks himself at third. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and WPIX, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game, or any segment thereof without the express written consent of the New York Yankees is prohibited. So Bob Shirley comes on, trying to protect the 5-2 lead for the New York Yankees. Shirley's second appearance of the year against the Red Sox back in April 23rd. He went 3 1/3 innings, gave up a hit and a run, walked 2, and he struck out 2. Last pitched in the opening game of the series against the Red Sox, 2 shutout innings in which he gave up 2 base hits in a 10-6 New York Yankee victory. But he is in a key situation right here. The Yankees with a 5-2 lead. There is one man out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Dwight Evans is at third. Wade Boggs is at first base. And Bill Buckner, the left-handed hitter, will bat. And check that scoreboard, Bill. Toronto has gone out in front with a run in the 7th over Kansas City, 3-2.
I think it's over. Looks like they haven't put anything up there. Looks like Toronto's beaten Kansas City 3-2, and Cleveland has beaten Detroit 7-2. Well, Brian Fisher better get ready, because surely this will probably be the only man he'll pitch to, the left-handed hitting Billy Buckner, because Jim Rice and Tony Armas, 2 big right-handed hitters, are up next. Runners at first and third. 1 down. Buckner is popped up, bounced into a double play, and grounded to second. That ground out in the 6th drove in a run. Ball 1. Yankees 5, Red Sox 2, playing in the 8th inning. Sox trying to get back in the ball game. A home run would tie it. Buckner batting .287. He has 12 home runs, 69 ribbies. Into center field, and Henderson on the run again. Winters really carrying the ball to center field. This time Henderson back out, and he's got it. Tagging at third, scoring will be Evans. And the Yankees now lead 5-3. Billy Martin coming out of the dugout. We're going to get Brian Fisher. Sacrifice fly and a run batted in for Bill Buckner, his second RBI of the ball game.
Rice and Armas in next, and Martin signals to the bullpen for the right-hander, Brian Fisher. So Shirley pitches to one batter, gets the second out, but it's a long out. A sacrifice fly for Bill Buckner. It makes it 5-3. And it'll now be up to Brian Fisher.
By the way, the base hit by Boggs, Spencer, he's now hitting at .354. Of course, we don't know what the league leader, third baseman for Kansas City, George Brett, did in the Toronto 3-2 win over Kansas City.
He came into the day hitting at .355, did Brett. Ricky Henderson started the day at .348. He has gone 1 for 4, so he'll drop down just a bit. Don Mattingly, who came into the game at .326, has gone 3 for 4. So he's up over .330 now, about .331 or that vicinity. And Brian Fisher, who was very effective in the Yankees doubleheader sweep against the Cleveland Indians on Thursday evening. Pitched 2 innings in the first game, did not give up a hit, came back in the nightcap in the Yankees 7-6 win, and walked away with a victory with 2 2/3 innings of 2-hit pitching. Fisher has had but one bad outing, really, in his last 14. That was against the White Sox last Sunday when Tom Seaver won his 300th. He went 2 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs. But scratch that one out, and in his last 13 appearances, he has given up a 1 earned run in 21 innings. So Brian Fisher has found himself a job with the Yankees and has been effective. Here's the fly ball by Buckner, stroked deep to center field. Henderson gets on his horse and really has to retreat, but has his eye on it. and grabs it for the second out. That's Evans tagging up and scoring to make it a 5-3 game. With Boggs remaining at first. 2 men are out, and the crowd responds as Jim Rice comes up to the plate. That is the final they have up there now. It looks that way, Bill. 3-2 Toronto.
Well, now we understand it's in the 8th inning, Spencer.
Okay.
They don't have an inning up there, but evidently it's in the 8th inning, and Toronto's leading Kansas City 3-2. And of course, if that game is over before this one, we will, or if it is indeed over.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the ticker. Here's Rice. Popped up, single, fly center field. Runner at first. 2 down. 2 low, ball 1 to Rice. I wonder about Cleveland and Detroit then. They don't have an inning up for that either.
No, that's finished. That is over.
Okay.
7-2 Cleveland.
Well, maybe we've got a seer out there in that manual scoreboard. He figures that's going to be the final score of Toronto, Kansas City, and it's 1-1 here on Rice. Jim Rice, 19 home runs this year, 71 runs batted in. 1-2 as Fisher makes him hurry the bat. Rice hit his 19th home run yesterday in the loss to the Yankees. The Yankees winning that game 7-3 after taking the opener 10-6. Back up the middle, and he can take his time here and does. That's good play by Fisher. That ball hit him on his shins, and he took his time, picked it up, and threw out Rice, and the inning is over. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. At the end of 8, the Yankees lead Boston 5-3. It's Bob Stanley. Bob Stanley playing the 9th inning with the Yankees leading by a score of 5-3. And a strike 1 on Pagliarulo. He is struck out, grounded to second, and flied to center field. He'll be followed by Bobby Meacham and then Ricky Henderson. That's Gutierrez at short. Nice throw for the first out.
Bob Stanley came on with second and third for the Yankees in the 8th inning, and nobody out, and pitched out of it. This is Jim Rice again. That hard hit ball, it bounces off Fisher's leg, and he's cool, this young man, I'll tell you. Knows how much time he has, and he throws Rice out in a very key situation.
Pretty good soccer player too.
Yeah.
That one. Bobby Meacham batting 0 for 3 and a strike. Looking ahead for the Bo Sox in the 9th inning against Fisher, they'll have Armas, Easler, and Marty Barrett. 1-1 on Meacham. I think every year and every ball game, Meacham looks more and more comfortable at shortstop. No chance for Boggs. One and 2 on Meacham.
Talking about Dwight Gooden before. Headline writers are having a ball with Dwight Gooden. Today's headline, the Boston paper, Gooden plenty against Cubs.
A 2-out bunt foul, and Meacham strikes out for the second out. And that's the second strikeout for Bob Stanley. The Yankees had runners at first and third in the 8th inning, and 2 runs in. They put the squeeze on. Weininger threw his bat at the ball, and he was out. And then Mark Sullivan, who was catching then, threw to Boggs, and he tagged out Griffey. So here's Henderson, who's lost a point. He's at 348, 347 now after coming in at 348. 1 for 4 in the game, and a strike on Henderson.
That Toronto game is in the 8th inning. 3-2 Blue Jays. Toronto goes to Texas tomorrow to open up a series.
So I remember watching Ken Kaiser give that strike call quickly. He used to take his time. a la George Maloney, who I believe started that among the American League umpires. Maloney has since retired. Now Mr. Kaiser's quick with the strike call. Somebody said something that made Henderson laugh. There's 2 balls on the strike on Henderson. Bit high. Three and one. Well, Stanley has just walked to Henderson. And now he's got to worry about Ricky, who has 51 stolen bases and 55 attempts this year. And Don Mattingly's a batter.
They've got Mattingly up at the board at 329.
Well, he's 3 for 4 in this ball game. 2 singles and a double. They thought he might be going, and he was not. I believe if they would throw 3 more pitch outs, they'd catch Henderson going. Now, whether they throw him out or not, it's another story.
It's only been thrown out once this year by Bob Boone of the Angels. He was caught leaning 3 times.
Well, there's two pitch outs. Now he might as well go. They won't throw 3 straight, will they?
No, I don't. They're not going to throw 3 straight.
I would. I'd just keep throwing pitch outs. Except on 3-0, I don't think I would. Now they're going to keep him close at first with this one. Of course, if Henderson does steal second base, they will pitcher on Mattingly and go with Winfield.
Pitch out on 3-0 is an intentional walk.
There goes Henderson. And Mattingly lines it right to Buckner. And that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left after 8.5 innings of play. Yankees 5, Boston 3.
He's 3 outs away from a 3-game sweep for the Boston Red Sox. And in Kansas City, George Brett has homered in the 8th inning, his 16th homer of the year. Nobody aboard, so the Royals have tied the Blue Jays at 3-3. A tough chore for Brian Fisher. He will have to face Tony Armas, Mike Easler, and Marty Barrett, with the Yankees holding on to a 2-run lead. Fisher came on in the 8th inning after Bob Shirley had pitched to 1 batter. Ron Guidry going 7 1/3. Bill?
All right, Spencer. Armas is 0 for 3 in the game. Lifts this one into right center, and Dave Winfield will take charge for the first out. Armas, first ball hitting, skies to Winfield. Winfield says, "Little fella, I'll take care." He says, "I think Henderson is saying you're over my territory." And Dave says, "Well, I don't like the way you played a couple of balls. Let the sure man take it." So there's 1 down. And here's Mike Easler. Easler slide the left, single to center, and struck out. He extends like a golfer after he swings at a ball. Ball 1. That little uppercut swing and really takes the bat up. Good follow through. 1-1. That's wide. Fisher with the chance to pick up his 5th save of the year. Dave Righetti has 21 saves. Fisher 4, 41. Three and 1.
There is no activity in the Yankee bullpen.
3-2 on Easler. Yankees 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Charge to Mike Paliulo at third. The Red Sox 3 runs on 7 hits. They've played airless baseball. And we're in the 9th inning. And a full count on Mike Easler. Brian Fisher. And it's still 3-2.
It's all business out there, Fisher. Just very determined young man.
He's been a surprise. Had a good spring. Yankees called him up from Columbus. They gave him the baseball and said, do that. Rear back and throw fastballs. These people won't hit you too far or too often. And there are 2 outs.
Here's the 3-2 pitch to Mike Easler. And Easler goes down swinging, so Fisher needs 1 more out, and Marty Barrett stands in his way from save number 5 in Guidry's 15th victory.
Barrett has flied to center, lined to third, and flied to center, 0 for 3. Piniella trying to get the Yankee outfielders to come in a little. Actually pointing to Winfield, trying to move Winfield in. Dave says, I see you, but I'm going to stay here. I'll cover it short. 2 outs. 2 strikes on Barrett. Yankees 1 out away from sweeping the Red Sox. Yankees and Red Sox opened the season right here at Fenway Park earlier in the year. And the Red Sox won all 3. Ned Martin on the radio side for Boston. Young lady who got that baseball. Got him with a breaking ball. The game is over. Fisher retired all 4 Red Sox batters he faced after coming on in the 8th inning in relief of Bob Shirley. 3 up, 3 down in the 9th inning. The Yankees have swept all 3 from the Red Sox here at Fenway. Final score, Spencer. The Yankees 5, Boston 3.
Well, the Yankees take a 1-0 lead in the 4th inning on Ken Griffey's RBI single. Single by Mattingly, triple by Winfield, and a double by Griffey. 2 more in the 6th inning. They had 2 more in the 8th inning. RBIs for Winfield and Baylor. Take a 5-1 lead. Red Sox make it close with 2 runs in the 8th, but Brian Fisher comes on to record his 5th save of the season. Ron Guidry wins his 15th, and the Yankees have made it 3 in a row over the Sox. The Lions score 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for New York, 3-7-0 for the Boston Red Sox. And that does it from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Remember to tune in tomorrow.